This is Derek Leblanc here with Top MMA News here with David DeCroazo. Sorry for slipping your name there.
No problem.
Yeah, brand new ECC light heavyweight champion. Went over Mike Kent tonight though. So first, just give us your thoughts on the fight.
I mean, it was a quick fight. You know, I heard Mike Kent's corner was screaming, "No respect!" right from the get-go. No respect. So I said, okay, he's gonna come forward. So I was ready, you know, and I caught him with a good combo, a good 1-2, and I dropped him, and then I started hitting him in his guard, but I thought he was going out. Then he went out, and I look at the ref, and I'm like, he's out, but he didn't stop him. And as I'm saying he's out, well, Mike Kent is coming back, starting defending himself. So then I started hammer fisting, and yeah, that's how it went.
Now, unfortunately, it seems like you left up pretty good. Unfortunately, we stumbled a couple times trying to get out. So, do you feel that obviously your ground game really improved? Obviously, your ground improved. Just seeing something like that. Obviously, I know you don't want to see something. Obviously, we don't want to see something like that in the sport where someone's that badly hurt. But
well, my ground and pound's always been vicious.
Yeah.
I mean,
the McCarthy fight's probably the best example, obviously.
The McCarthy fight, you know, so many fights. I mean, my fighter, I won a lot of fights with nasty ground and pound. You know, that's how I got my title shot when I fought. I finished Gideon Ray with some ground and pound, and then I had Charles McCarthy, and then Evan Tanner, rest in peace. You know, I fought Evan, and then from there I got the title shot. So my ground and pound has always been good, but the ground and pound tonight was not a factor. It was the combo that I dropped him with that really put him out. He was out.
Now, how much does experience now play for a factor for you? Obviously, you've been in the sport a long time. Like, you're definitely one of the early pioneers for Canadian MMA for sure.
Yeah.
So how much experience now does he go into these fights? Obviously, now I know you're not in the UFC anymore, or at least still trying to. Obviously, I'm sure you're still trying to get back, but obviously now coming to these shows, like, how much does that experience play a factor for you?
I mean, it's a big factor, you know. Fighting so long, I started fighting in 2000, so now, you know, we're in 2013. I mean, 13 years of hard work, you know, and it's a great journey. I'm enjoying this journey, and I feel alive again. It's my last 2 fights, you know. I mean, I changed. Well, actually, for my last 3 fights, I changed the way I approach training and the way I approach the fight game. And whatever I'm weak at, I work on it all the time, you know. So I get outside my comfort zone on a daily basis, you know what I mean. So I wrestle with Canadian wrestling champs, and you know, I do a lot of jiu-jitsu with the top guys. You know, I TriStar gym, and you know, I work on my weaknesses a lot, and I'm turning them into my strengths. So yeah, that's it.
Now, obviously, now in the past, obviously you've gone about suffering from anxiety problems. Now, it seems now, obviously in the last couple of years, you've been a lot better. So, what has been the secret able to help you to get, obviously, to start to get in the win column again, and just obviously build your career up and get it back on track?
Just staying busy, believing in myself, you know, and I think the training has a big effect on my confidence and my anxiety. I mean, it's always there, you know. I think that the anxiety has nothing to do with fighting, you know what I mean? People think, oh, he gets anxious when he fights. Sometimes, you know, I get anxious when I walk down the street, you know what I mean? So it's something that I've been working on, you know. I have my tricks, because I learned how to know myself better. I know myself better now. I know what triggers, you know, panic attacks, my panic attacks. So I'm just working on it on a daily basis, and it's an ongoing journey. And I'm not afraid of it. When it comes, I embrace it.
Yeah, like I said, it shows how much I know, because I just figured it was obvious for fights, but obviously me being a little dumbfounded coming into this and asking that. But
yeah, exactly. You know, most people think, oh, it's because of fights. No, I've had panic attacks when I had, you know, I was in a fight situation. You know, and you know, it sucks that it happens, but I mean, I deal with it, and I'm doing pretty good for myself, you know.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's definitely obviously some new gold wrap around your waist.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt, doesn't help. Actually helps matters. It definitely helps with the confidence.
But not only that, I mean, I've accomplished a lot, and you know, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Dave, you know, you had your shot, but you lost, but. You know, look at my career. You know, I'm the first one from Montreal, from Quebec, to fight in the UFC. You know, I'm, you know, I headlined the UFC, you know, twice, and you know, I did a lot of good stuff. You know, a lot of fights that I won in Quebec and Montreal. You know, I used to sell out arenas in Montreal. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of good things for the sport of mixed martial arts in Canada. I'm a pioneer. So, you know, I look back in my career, you know, and I don't feel bad, you know. I'm actually proud of my accomplishments.
And you shouldn't feel bad.
Yeah, I'm proud of my accomplishments.
And like I said, honestly, if it wasn't for guys like you, obviously starting out, like it wouldn't be possible for guys like me to be sitting here and talking to you right now, for sure. Because obviously, like the way that obviously you, GSP, and all these other guys back in the TKO days were able to build it up, and now obviously we've seen the phenomenon that's gone through, and how much we've been able to see the sport grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, for you, like I said, you're someone who else makes this possible. I don't want to say kiss your ass, but I'm speaking the honest truth.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a tough business, you know. They say you're only as good as your last fight, right? So it's a tough business, but the real fans are still here, and I keep working my butt off to make things happen for myself, you know.
Yeah, but still obviously coming to these smaller shows and obviously having the credentials that you have, obviously I'm sure you're used to getting a few cheers. Was it a little different tonight? Just going back, because obviously I heard a few boos coming in. Obviously I know Kent's the hometown guy, local.
Yes, you know, I was surprised about a few things about the boos. And, you know, I mean, like, he you know, I walked in first, I was in the blue corner, like, you know, I mean, I've accomplished a lot more than to be, you know, to be booed over here, you know what I mean? It's like I've accomplished a lot. So I didn't understand, but, and when I knocked him out, the crowd went silent. So it was like, okay, you know, it is his hometown, I understand, but, you know, I'm a hard worker, and I've done a lot for the sport here. So, hopefully next time they'll like me a little more.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hopefully you don't hold a bad judgment, because we're very nice to you. We're very nice to you.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely. After the fight,
yeah.
You know, people came and see me and you know, asked for pictures. And, you know, everybody was very nice. You know what I mean? So, you know, Mike Kent is a very tough guy, and you know, I've seen him in fights where he was losing and came back, finished the fight strong, and you know, the guy is, you know, he had a decent record. He was 9-3. I mean, he had a winning record, and he beat some good guys. And you know, he came at me straight away. So that's dangerous. I hit hard, man. I hit hard. It's just that sometimes I didn't get to hit the guys that I wanted to hit, you know, and it didn't play like that. But if you come at me hard in the first round, chances are that you're gonna get knocked out, because I mean, if you look at all, I have 3 knockouts under 20 seconds. So I mean, not a lot of people could say that in the, you know, in the sport of mixed martial arts. So it's yeah, I hit pretty hard.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We see that tonight. So what is next for you? I'm sure you're probably going to take a few days off at least, but any other?
No days off. I'm training. Hopefully, I'm back in the gym Monday. 100% Monday, but if I make it back in time tomorrow, there's a lot of guys that have fights coming up. You know, there's Rory McDonald, there's GSP, there's a lot of guys have fights. So even if I'm not sparring with them, you know, the fact that I'm there, you know, I'm part of the team. You know what I mean? I'm a worker. I'm a hard worker, and I'm going to be at sparring tomorrow. If I get back in time, then I'm going to spar a few rounds for sure.
And obviously, like you said, mentioned obviously just a couple things that you did, but obviously how many people went to TriStar, all the great coaches, like I'm sure it definitely gives you the good fight to obviously still want to go in there and still like you're like what 30, 33. Like obviously you're not anywhere near retirement, but obviously you still feel like you can obviously when you're first starting fight and obviously getting the training with obviously having a hobby coach, training with GSP, Rory, and all the other guys that come through the gym. So.
Yeah. It's an amazing place to train at. You know, TriStar is it's fantastic. I love the place. It's my home. You know what I mean? I've been training at TriStar gym since '98, so that's a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it is my home. I was there You know, I'm probably the one of the first, probably the first MMA fighter. You know, that's active right now from TriStar Gym. Out of all the MMA fighters, I'm the first one that's been there. You know, so yeah, I've been there for a long time.
Now we obviously talked about what's coming up next week. Obviously, you don't know the MMA fight scheduled. Are you still looking to try and get back to UFC one more? Trying to get back to the UFC? Or?
Thing is that I train. I just want to become the best I could be. You know, the best possible fighter that I could become. So wherever it takes me, you know what I mean? Of course, this is where I want to go back because I have some, you know, I have, how can I put it? I just haven't reached my goals. And the last few times I was in the UFC, I didn't deliver. I didn't put on exciting fights. And that's the reason why I was cut, you know, because I didn't go out there and put on exciting fights. And this is what I want to put on, exciting fights like tonight, you know, for the fans. And that's how I see it. That's how I want to make it happen, you know.
And I'm sure if you keep doing things like this, I'm sure eventually you get that call back. So.
Absolutely, but I used to focus too much on that, you know, the call from the UFC. Whenever it's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, it will happen. But I just want to be the best. I want to focus on myself. I want to be the best fighter I can be. I want to be the best middleweight fighter ever. And that's gonna take a lot of hard work, you know. And I know I'm aware of it, but at least this is my goal. You know, this is my goal out there: become the best middleweight fighter ever.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm sure you definitely don't mind putting the time in. Like I said, you definitely don't mind putting the time in and doing whatever it takes to get that done.
I train 7 days a week. The people at TriStar, the gym's open on Sundays, and every Sunday, the person at the front desk is like, "You again? You don't take these off?" I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to. You know, I have a goal. I'm dedicated. You know, thank God I'm healthy, 100%. So boom, back in the gym. You know, to achieve greatness, you need to be obsessed. You need an obsession. All the great ones, man. There's not one of them that's normal. You look at Jordan, Tiger Woods, all these guys. They're not normal people.
Yeah.
They're not normal. They're crazy. You know what I mean? George trains like a maniac.
Yeah.
George thinks that it's normal to train the way he trains. He trains like a maniac, and I'm following his footsteps now, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? Oh, the one thing with me is that I always train hard. Always train hard. But let me give you an example here, a metaphor. You could do 1,000,000 push-ups a day. That will not get you ready to do a backflip. Correct?
Correct.
So I was training hard, but I was training hard at the wrong things. You know what I mean? I was in my comfort zone. I was training with the things that I was comfortable with. And now I changed everything up. I get outside my comfort zone on a daily basis. You know, I wrestle with wrestlers, and I don't only defend the takedowns. I try to take them down. You know, I take them down. I work from jiu-jitsu. I work my bottom game. My top game has always been excellent, always been good. My bottom game was garbage for the longest time. Garbage. Put me on my back now. Trust me, I'm good on my back. You know, because I work on it every day. Every day, whenever I start rolling, I don't try to get top position. I'm on the bottom. You know, and this is the only way you could you know, reach your goals, by getting outside your comfort zone and training hard, working hard.
I know. I'll definitely take your word for it, because definitely I'm not going to go on the ground with you and fight, because I know that's just going to end really bad for me. But no, you definitely talk. Well, you talk about like no such thing as day off. I think of Jimmy Johnson, a former coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He always used to use that line for his team back in the early '90s. And like I said, for him to win 2 Super Bowls, a national championship, and probably one of the greatest football coaches ever go. I said that definitely is a good example. And obviously, seeing like someone like you taking that kind of philosophy would definitely help. It definitely helps in the long run. So.
Yes. I mean, it's been a while that I've been training like that. You know, with training every day, and I can see the results not only in the fighting, but in the sparring sessions with the way I deal with adversity. Sometimes, you know, you spar with a guy and he's doing a little better than you, and then you know, before I used to panic a little bit, but now it's like I kind of, the more I train, the more I realize that there's so much more to learn in fighting. Fighting is an ongoing journey where, you know, I mean, you never reach the top, you know what I mean, the top level. You know what I mean? Yes, there's black belts, you know, but I believe that once you reach a black belt, this is when you start learning for real. You know what I mean? You're never a master. You know, a lot of guys that, you know, they're, oh, I'm the master. Well, you know, you never stop learning. You can learn from anyone. I learned from beginners. Sometimes I teach the jiu-jitsu beginner class, and sometimes I see moves and I'm like, you know, they get out of an armbar or a triangle, you know, with their instincts because they don't know much, and I'm like, this is pretty cool, you know what I mean? It's you learn from everybody.
Yeah, definitely, like I said. Before we finish up here, any final thoughts, anything you want to add, shout outs, anything along those lines, or?
I want to thank everybody that supported me, you know, that's been supporting me through thick and thin. I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay. I'm a hard worker, and I just want to keep pushing, keep training hard, and keep putting on exciting fights for the fans. You know, I fight for the fans. I train hard to make it happen for the fans. So, you know, thank you very much for all your support. My sponsors, you can see them here. You know, there's a Scratch the Valve, Johnny Motorsports, Core Fit Living, KA Autos. There's also the Kanawagi Condors that sponsored me as well for this fight. I got so much support. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, David, like I said, again, brand new ECC light heavyweight champion. So hopefully we'll get to see you in Halifax here again in the near future. If not, like I said, we wish you all the best success. And I want to say I never thought I'd get a chance to interview you. So again, it was a very pleasure, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
This is David the Ball Top Major.